And that's the spirit, stream my look, I ain't got time for these hoes.
That's it. Just stream my music. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Period. Like, I don't care.
But let me tell you something, we got to get into it. And on that note, I'm your host, Darren Green, and this is another episode of the Darren Green Show. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Derek Dahl. This is episode 157, right?
Yeah, something like that. We moving
something
on
like
up
that.
there. We'll be at episode 200 before you know it.
Right. We are moving up there with these numbers, honey. Look. Please be sure that if you are watching this on YouTube, you want to hit that like button, leave us a comment. Please, we love to interact with you guys. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell to get notified. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, hi, how are you? Make sure you're following and subscribing to wherever the app says to do it. Everybody different.
Whatever it says,
yeah,
just do it.
Just do it. Right. How you been, Derek?
I've been good. I can't complain. I just got back in town from a little trip down to Texas and Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it.
You seen something? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really nice. So for Valentine's Day, my boyfriend and I hopped a plane, went to Dallas. The goal was for him to meet my father, but we enjoyed the day in Deep Ellum. My dad got stuck in traffic, and we were on a time schedule. So we just have to meet him next time.
Okay.
But we did.
I was kind of hoping that. Okay.
I know, me too. Well, he was too, and it's crazy because at first I was like, we waited like all day, and I was going to do dinner, and I was like, oh, he's flaking. But he was legit stuck in traffic, and I was like, I thought he was using it as an excuse, and until I was like, okay, well, we're just gonna head out. We got in the motherfucking traffic, child. It was a wreck on I-20, so we were stuck too. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what he was talking about. Because he was driving from Fort Worth back to Dallas. But I was like, okay, so we'll just have to do this next time when we have more time to be here. But the next day we went to Shreveport and surprised my grandmother for her 85th birthday. And it was good. It was he had a chance to finally meet my sister and my other brothers. And he's already met my mom, so she was happy to see him. And it just went really well.
Okay.
And I think that as a love holiday, we always talk about like couples and like romantic stuff and like all that, all that, the candies and I feel like this was probably my favorite Valentine's Day ever because it was literally just me and my man in, just walking around the city, taking pictures, eating, and just having a good time with each other. And he got to meet my family and they liked him. And yeah, it was good. It was good. I had a really good time. But I'm very much glad that I'm back though, because I only have a 72-hour tolerance of the South at this point. So, but yeah, how about you? How was your week been?
Pretty same old. I mean, I was working with other creators doing what I've been doing as far as like the TDJS reviews with Euphoria and all that. I did a couple interviews. Well, no, not a couple. Well, yeah, I did. I did a couple interviews. It was the one with Lucendora that came out this Monday, and then I did another one last night with another rapper. Well, no, not another rapper, child. It's a rapper. I haven't interviewed a rapper in a long time. So that's coming out on Monday. Can't wait for that. Yeah. I also, just been catching up on some shows. I had a little bit of free time. Along with working and stuff like that. Like I started watching Bel Air. A lot of people were talking about that on Twitter. And when I tell you this,
you like this iteration? It's more dramatic, right?
Yeah, like it's very surprising. I don't want to spoil anything, but like I'm gonna just say this. Why do Carlton act like that? Like, why?
Well, Carlton was always like the obnoxious, like bougie, judgmental. Like,
not really, not too much.
In the sitcom, it was funny. Like it was written for him to be funny, but he's always been condescending. Always looked at Will like he was less than. Like,
really?
Go back and watch the old Fresh Prince because it was like they're from the upper crust, and here's this gangster thug kid coming, and like he's not gonna fit in here, and but. I feel like the dramatic spin on the show now is gonna do really well. And it's crazy because you remember a few years ago when that trailer was going around where they had did the reimagining of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Remember the trailer? You don't remember
Yeah.
like a long time ago. It wasn't a parody, but like some guy independently like just made like this
Oh,
dramatic.
like a fan fiction or something like that.
Yeah, it was fan made of
Yeah.
what it would look like if it was a drama. And so to see, Will Smith saw that and it was like it was an opportunity to make this thing real. And I'm just glad that to see that creators have that kind of power where it's like, listen, it may seem lofty or crazy, but just do it. You
Yeah.
never know what can come of it. And so I actually was anticipating watching Bel Air today. I just started Euphoria last night. So I got to
How
play
was
catch up.
that?
Oh my God, it's giving very much 13 Reasons Why I'm a Junkie right now. So I got to get into them. Like, it's a lot going on. You got people's daddies out here, making sex tapes with boys and trans people. And then
Wait, how many episodes you in?
I'm only on episode 3.
Okay,
And for me, it's already giving me like anxieties. I'm like, oh my God, I really got Zendaya out here as a crackhead. This is too much.
I mean, she has range, and I feel like
no, as an actress, she does though. And I'm like, I already see like, well, I'm a Zendaya fan. Like, I love her, and I think that she's very, very talented, and she's underrated.
Very much.
She's very underrated. I feel like if she was a Latina, it'd be different. People would just be like, "Oh my God, she's just not all." That, and it sounds crazy, but I feel like, what do I feel like when I look at her? I feel like she's one of the she reminds me like a face of the future. Like we know she's black, she knows she's mixed, but it's like she's this racially ambiguous, super talented. Like she has like a Disney look. Like she looks like she was drawn in an animation studio. Zendaya is basically perfect. You know what I mean? So to see her in this particular type of role where she's broken and like battling addiction and disheveled, it's really interesting to see. So I can't wait to see the rest. I'm sad that I got on so late, but usually when these shows are popular, like it takes me a while to get into them because everybody is so busy ruining them. Right, because they're so excited about it. They just tweeting. I'm just like, well, let me just watch it so it'll still feel fresh to me.
Right. And first of all, the hype in the first season was not here how it is now. Like we got corporations saying, "Oh, it's glorifying this, and this is too much for that, and this and that." I'm like, it never was this popular, but I'm glad that it's doing because it's doing this thing because now it made it to its 3rd season or something like that. They're set to have a 3rd season. But still, it's just like, damn, it's like. That was like sometimes when I be watching the show, I'm like, I love like in the comfort of just watching a show and not having to worry about people talking about it or it's gonna get like spoiled or something like that. Because people, like you said, people, making little think pieces on it and stuff like that. And oh my God, the think pieces that I've heard about, this character symbolizes that and it says this about this. I'm like, I mean, I know we do that with the review every week, but like y'all be doing too much.
Yeah, I just realized like since the advent of social media, there'd be a lot of think pieces from niggas that really don't think. So I try to just skip over them as best as I can, and then like I said, I just wait so I can have fresh eyes and fresh thoughts, since I can experience it for myself without any of the other stuff happening.
Yeah, and
but I like it.
Yeah, go ahead. I think to piggyback off that, like, yeah. I remember I had a conversation with somebody. It's like I think we're in this stage now where it's like people want to have a different take so bad that they'll go to the lengths to be like, oh, well, I feel like this and this is what I'm like, girl.
They be reaching with no arms,
reaching for the stars.
Help them!
Not reaching with no arms.
reaching with no arms.
What was that phantom something like phantom arm or something? I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, same with Bel Air. Like I feel like I want to start watching it now. I guess I'll, since it just came out and their episodes are weekly. Yeah. But I guess this will be a series that I won't be late on. I'll catch up and watch the first couple of episodes tonight.
Well, how did you feel about the halftime show? Because I know we didn't talk about
it. Baby! Now I'm gonna tell you like this. Now I did not, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg. And
Mary
and Mary J. Blige and Eminem. That's gonna be. I mean,
And then Kendrick.
Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar. This is gonna be I mean, I think it's great that hip hop had its day.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're in California. You got all these Cali artists. I mean, even though Mary's New York, but like it was such a black ass Super Bowl. Like it wasn't even just the halftime performance. Like to have Janae Aiko, I would have never thought that they would choose her to sing the national anthem. Never
They
in a
got it
million
wrong.
years. Oop.
They had somebody.
Well, they put the title wrong.
Yeah, I'm like somebody getting fired.
There was a girl that sings country. I never remember her name, but not just that. You had all black entertainers besides Eminem, but Mary singing "Lift Every Voice and Sing," like it gave me chills. It literally. I know this may be out on the limb, and I may be at that by myself.
Yeah.
But the same feeling I get when I watch Whitney sing the Star Spangled Banner, even though it's a racist song, the execution of it and the harmonies, like Mary sang that song as if the ancestors were present. Okay. And then the Super Bowl halftime show, I don't really expect too much out of Mary. The only thing I expect out of Mary is a bunch of yelling and that drunk auntie shuffle she be doing, right? But Mary J brought it, even though she was lip syncing for the first song. When her mic became live, she didn't disappoint. So it was black ass, as Jill Scott would say. It was so black ass.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. I was pleasantly surprised and grateful to be alive to see that type of moment. And then to put the ice on the cake, watching Eminem, this white rapper, take a knee.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it.
I thought, you know, like I said,
you say this is great.
Right. Now I talked about it earlier this week because I did like a little hot topic spiel. I don't know. I was off on Monday and was like, oh, let me do something. Let me do a little something on Monday. Here's the thing. I love everything that you said was right. Like I was like, yes, it was blackity black. I love when something, you know, a show is blackity black, ain't nothing but black folks skin for, you know what I'm saying? White folks there too, but they doing the right thing. Okay, they over it. But you know, wasn't my time. You know, I didn't grow up with these rappers, so I mean, I was just like, you know, I was just okay, all right. Like I was here for Mary, like you know what I'm saying. Like I knew Mary because my mom listened to Mary. But you know, when Snoop Dogg and them all them came, I was like, okay. One thing everyone had like one song, and it was like, all right. I'm like, damn, like y'all couldn't. I don't know. It just
they only get 15 minutes. It's 5 of them motherfuckers.
How long was it? It wasn't 13 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's like 15. They only get like
really.
The halftime shows only like 15 minutes.
I don't know. I just felt it was so quick.
That's because when Beyonce performed, you felt like you were there for an hour and a half.
Yes,
really wasn't.
Yes. I'm sorry.
She performed 85 fucking songs in 15.
She them songs. Yeah, look.
But she only gave you, but the difference is she gave you 45 seconds of like 20 songs, whereas these people performed at least 1.5 of their actual.
Yeah, and I was happy that people enjoyed it. I didn't like how a lot of these conservatives that's continuously always making these little think pieces on how, oh my goodness, everything is so political, everything's so black people perform is political now. I'm like, what the entire fuck?
Us existing is political. You don't know that?
I'm like, there has been Super Bowl shows led by all white acts, and that wasn't political.
Oh no, because it was American.
I mean, we even had one when Shakira and who else was on there? It was
J-Lo.
And J-Lo was all last year. No one said nothing. We get something that's predominantly black and with one white person that was on there, and then I guess they got mad at him because I guess he took a knee because you know Rudy Giuliani was like, oh well, we got white people telling people to tell other white people to lead the country because Rudy was like, oh Eminem to lead this country. I'm like, oh, child, politics gonna keep politicking, child. I don't know why y'all get into the entertainment conversation when y'all need to be running countries, but it's beyond me.
Well, I hate to tell you that the entertainment industry is an extension of politics in America because of its reach. And that's why when you have mainstream entertainers who do become political, it can literally jeopardize their career because it can polarize their fan base based off of um, a belief that may not align with, you know, the people that are buying their music or going to see them in the movies, because they're not supposed to be human. They're literally fantasy. That's why I've been trying to tell y'all, like, being an entertainer is literally, at least a mainstream entertainer, you give up so much. Like, there's a
Yeah.
sacrifice that comes with becoming a puppet or becoming a dancing monkey for this industry. And as an independent artist, I am grateful that I get to decide for myself. You know, I get to speak for myself. I don't really, the brands that I work with, they don't ask me about my political beliefs, and they don't care because they know that I speak to my own demographic. You know,
Right.
the people that support me will support whatever it is that I'm promoting, and I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody losing millions because I say that Trump was a racist. Like, you're not gonna lose the millions of dollars because the people that I'm talking to, or the people that usually think like me or they support me. Um, and when you jump into mainstream media, think about how many millions of people that are watching. So, for an Eminem to take a knee, which is is considered now a radical political move, in the temperament that we're in, of course there was going to be a reaction from the right. Of course it is, because they're still confused, or they're still delusional about what the whole take a knee movement was for.
Yeah.
They see it as disrespect to America. Now, for them aligning disrespecting America with raising awareness uh, uh, about police brutality and um, the legalized slaughtering of Black people, that just goes to show you what they think America is supposed to be. Like, this is how we're designed, this is how we work, and if you don't like it, then get out.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, well, this is how it's supposed to work. Then I'm definitely going to be raising awareness and saying this is not right. How dare we try to tell other countries how to run their countries and talk about human rights and things like that, when in our own country we're violating our own people. And then when we raise awareness about what's happening here, we get punished for it. What type of game do you think he's trying to play here? We understand what's happening. And I think that people don't, because we have so much access to information, we're aware of what's happening. We literally blatantly see it. Now we're calling it out. And the people who have been elected and or paid to keep it quiet, or the people who are the gatekeepers of American society or white society, they're always gonna speak out because they're in fear that the country is gonna turn majority Black and brown. That is their fear. We know that. It's either going to become Black and brown country, or it's going to be a country full of Black and brown sympathizers, which now means that people will recognize white racists for who they are. And that is ignorant, evil people.
And on that note,
Yeah. So
no, I mean,
I
I get what
definitely
you're saying,
enjoyed the Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah, and I understood that. The Republicans always they're gonna have something to say.
Now, I'm not going to see a
I
Republican.
just
Now,
wish the attention could be on other things, like we do entertainment news.
Mhm.
Y'all talk about policy and what's going on in the government. Could we stay there? Could we? This is ours. Y'all do y'all. Like, we don't care what y'all have to say because we already know. Oh, this is wrong. This is this. Y'all don't even know how to do hot topics. So don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just me. But anyway,
You want
speaking
them
of
to stay
the
in their lane, don't you saying? Stay in your
stay in their
lane.
lane, yes. I don't talk about politics.
Right.
I made that very clear. We stopped talking about politics because, not that I can't, but it's just, this ain't what we do. This is not.
Well, I did because, like I said. Now, listen. You also have to remember that these people are human too. So, I mean, they're citizens, so they have the right to speak their opinions about things they don't like. But my thing is, if you don't like it, then don't watch. You knew that Mary J. and Eminem and Snoop Dogg and them were coming. You could have just when the halftime, when the whistle was blown after the second quarter, you could have went and did something else.
Okay.
Go walk your dog. Go pop some popcorn.
I thought you were about to say.
You know what I'm saying? Pop your pussy somewhere. It's 15 minutes. You got the time. You ain't got to watch the halftime show if you don't want to go see these niggas nigging. You ain't got to do it. But you did. You watched it, and then you mad at you. You're mad. Oh, they should have done blah, blah, blah. Well, listen, we're not listening to country
the
music
fabric
every
of our
goddamn.
the fabric of our nation.
Right. We're not going to
Child.
listen to Garth Brooks every damn Super Bowl. Okay. Especially
Many
not
were
when you got
trying
all
to
these
call
black
us
folks
great.
playing in the league. Like that's the thing. Like I feel like they want to the country wants to use black creativity. They want to use black wealth, black consumption, black ideas, black inventions, black aesthetic. You know, they want to use it. They want to dibble and dabble in it. They want to merchandise it. They want to sell it back to us, but they don't want it to be appreciated, which is so weird to me. Why you want all our stuff, but you don't want people to appreciate it? You want it to be made a mockery of until you can sell it, but you don't want it to be appreciated. It's just weird. It's very weird to me. I just want all the white people to go back to Europe, and
It's
then
getting weird.
I want them to see, like, that's another thing I want to say too with the blowout from the Super Bowl, and about addressing Rudy Giuliani's comment to Eminem saying he needs to leave this country. If the people in the Caucasian, racist, white nationalist people who feel like America's changing too much or progressing too fast for them, I want them to take 3 years off from being American and go back where they came from. Go back where your grandparents came from. Go back to Scotland. Go back to Ireland. Go back to the UK. Go back to Italy. Go back to wherever it was your family came from and stay there for 3 years. I want you to just stay there. They'll be mad as hell when they realize that black people are there too. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. We are the majority on this planet.
So existing is not political.
Right. Right. They need to go back where they came from. Go back to where you came from, and you'll find out we there too. We were here first too. So anyway, moving on. I don't want to get too political. I don't want us to get canceled just yet. We've got good news coming.
We got good news coming. Speaking of the Super Bowl halftime show, 50 Cent performed. We kind of didn't really bring his setup, but here we are.
Go, shawty.
Yeah, okay. 50 Cent has found support in his loyal fans. Many of his social media users came at his defense after he was fat shamed by his appearance at the halftime show. Now, during the show, 50 Cent wore a white tank top and black pants while he was rapping his verse, and he hung upside down like his iconic music video. Remember, what song was that? Because I'm too young.
Club. In the club.
Now, upon watching the unique stage, body shamers was, and this came from the article, bullied him on social media.
You can't bully 50 Cent.
As they thought he appeared to have some type, he gained a couple pounds, and like I said, 50 Cent was kind of like, I guess he was, I'm not saying he felt a way about it, but he was definitely in support of the fans that supported him against the people that was fat shaming him. I mean, there's people calling him a whole dollar. There was people saying that he didn't leave the candy shop. Like, I mean, it was innocent.
Now that's funny. That's funny.
It was innocent little jokes, but what got me to get on TikTok and talk about this, because I feel like there was like this picture with him and then a picture of Lizzo, and they said, "Oh my God, double standards." When she does her thing, is body positivity, and she's brave, and and it's that third. When 50 does it, oh, he's fat, he got big, he fell off. Or I'm like, what are we doing? What double standard?
I don't know if we can compare 50 Cent to Lizzo. I mean, 50 Cent isn't obese. 50 Cent just looked like beefcake. Okay. 50 Cent has daddy body or dad bod.
He has a dad bod, yeah.
50 Cent looks like he went to prison, okay, for 10 to 15 years, and all he did was lift weights. Okay, 50 Cent looks like he's enjoyed a lifestyle of Debbie cakes and money. 50 Cent looks like he's living stress-free, okay? 50 Cent looks like a future diabetic, but the difference is, like I said, you can't troll 50 Cent because he is a supreme troll. And I mean, he's older now. When you get older, your body changes, your metabolism changes. He's also wealthy, so he can do whatever he wants. He can eat whatever he wants. He ain't have to go nowhere. He ain't got to work out to be in no music videos. He ain't got to train for no films. He ain't got to do none of that stuff. All he has to do is eat, wake up, go to his meetings, make his money from Power and from Lemon Troy. That's all he has to do. He ain't got nothing else to do. Hell, I'm surprised I'm not fat, but my body just ain't designed that way. But 50 Cent didn't look bad, but it was definitely noticeable that he almost looked like CeeLo hanging upside down.
And here's the thing though. I feel like what got me started was it's not the fact that people think, because obviously 50 just gained weight. Like, I mean, it's not like he's not obese. You get what I'm saying? I think what people are talking about is how the public reacts. It's like, oh, basically the general consensus is like, oh, body positivity to Lizzo, but 50 gets slander and stuff like that. But it's just like, do y'all forget that this man like virtually shames everybody 7 days a week, 24 hours a day?
Right.
I'm thinking the energy just was kept. The same energy was just kept, and that's what it was. And
that's fine.
And it's like, my thing is, and he could do all that shit he wanted to do. Look,
right.
look.
I don't see 50 Cent going to his room crying. I don't see 50 Cent going to Instagram live crying about, oh, you don't think I'm fat? He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He knew how he looked before he got on that goddamn stage, hanging upside down, looking like a goddamn oversized jelly bean. He knew what he was doing, and he didn't care. He put his muscle shirt on and did what he had to do. So the people who were calling attention between him and Lizzo, I'm like, okay, so what are you trying to do? Because this doesn't make Lizzo look good, just because you're trying to make 50 Cent look bad, or our reaction to him. And nobody was like, it's body positivity when Lizzo does it, but not body positivity when 50 Cent does. I'm like, well, it's body positivity because he still got out there and did it anyway. Like, he wasn't covered up. He wasn't ashamed of his body. So yeah, sure. Look how you want to look.
And people are worried about what the public respond. The general public gonna be the general public at the end of the day. Okay.
Who cares about general people anyway? Bunch of proletariats. Mind your business. Okay. What's your body looking like?
I'm just saying, if a general consensus of this part of the general public want to say this about somebody, we got to keep that same energy. Everybody, it ain't safe for everybody. And that's just what this case was. So I'm sorry that y'all got mad because they was calling him a whole dollar. He ain't 50 Cent no more.
Right. I'm an equal opportunity roaster. Anybody can get it.
Yeah, anybody can get it. Like, look, get in our. You can go ahead and get in my comments on YouTube right now. Say how big I am. I don't care. Look, make them impressions big, okay?
Right.
Make me and put me in the algorithm. Ciao. Yeah. So that was 50.
Now they call him a whole dollar. Help us.
They call him a whole dollar. Like, I'm like, my mom said that first. Like, because when we watched it, because my mom was one of the first people that pointed that out.
Bill.
I'm like, y'all need to stop. Like, okay, like, the shit was funny. Okay, hell.
Yes, it was. Now let's talk about what's not funny. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of Mr. Bottoms Up.
I mean, he's on his way for. I mean, he has the R&B stimulus pack. Like he's. Let me stop. Anyway, I didn't want to make that. No, not all male R&B singers are like that. But okay, so on Tuesday, a third accuser filed a $20 million lawsuit against the singer Trey Songz, claiming that he anally assaulted her on March 24th in California.
Oh my God. He took over her booty hole? Lord.
We got to keep it real PG.
No, we don't. That's not. We got adult listeners.
Go ahead. Kids better turn this thing off now.
This is not for kids. Ain't that the one you should go on YouTube? This is not for kids.
Now, in her complaint, the anonymous accuser, which is the Jane Doe, referred to said that Trey Songz assaulted her so brutally that she needed immediate emergency medical care. It's crazy. They said what happened was she went to his place, with the intentions of having sex. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to do, down there, yeah. She didn't want that, but he viciously forced his way in. Now
into her booty hole.
Allegedly.
Huh.
Because
Okay.
we ain't no toxicated. So yeah, that happened. And this is like what this is at this point. How many people then came out and said this?
Well, one is too many.
Like, you was working your way to being R. Kelly, but
that was see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all gotta be. Hold on, let me just put a pause. Okay.
Okay.
For all of my other artists out here listening, like I know you have your idols and your icons. Okay, you got to be careful when you say the next such and such. Okay, because this man literally told us 11 years ago that he was the next R. Kelly, right? And y'all see how this is playing out. Like, yeah, I'm the next king of R&B. Look at this, y'all. Look at it.
What you wish for.
Be careful with something like when people talk about when they said Chris Brown was the next Michael Jackson. I was just like, I don't know if y'all really want him to be that.
I don't. Well, let me stop.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, look at Chris now. Like he has like this permanent black cloud around him. Like there's nothing that could be positive. This man could win the lottery or cure world hunger, and he's still gonna be the nigga that beat up Rihanna. Like it's always gonna be there. Always gonna be there. And now with Trey Songz, who for me has always been, more like a mediocre yodeling goat, is now like sitting in the hot seat. Now that they got R. Kelly, somewhere behind bars, they got his heirs are like following right behind him. So I'm just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, like
this is crazy.
Like y'all let Kelly set the standard for y'all. Like,
now wait a minute. Now this is saying that she was required to get immediate emergency medical care, right?
Yeah. I mean,
for her
probably because
So that means that she has a medical record saying that she had like anal tears and shit like that. He gonna have to pay this money. If I'm gonna say this, if anything has taught us anything about the way these cases goes, if she has medical records or medical documentation, he gonna have to pay. Even if they can't prove he was in it,
he might play the whole, oh no, she was in on it. She consented.
Okay. But the funny thing is he's a man, he's a black man. How do you prove consent if someone says you assaulted them? How do you prove it? Which scares me, which always scared me, because like, Lord, please don't let me have sex with nobody that's fucking crazy and just after my money, because I before having to pay you, I'm probably gonna get you knocked off. I'm just saying. You gotta go. It's a problem.
At this point, I'm gonna be
I just
hell.
I just don't understand.
Okay,
like,
I miss what that is.
How do you now? Unless you literally record it with their consent,
right?
With them saying, yes, I consent to sex. How, like, it's making it so weird and so hard for people to just have normal, no strings attached sex when you have money.
When you got money. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I mean,
I'm so glad that by the time I get to my millionaire status, I'll be with my man. And if he pulls some shit like that, he gonna go missing.
You said he gonna go missing. Well, we don't know if she's lying or not. Like, she could very much be telling the truth. There's a lot of people saying, a lot of the same. And you know what they say about people that, everybody, usually if the same situation happens with the person, then usually it's true.
Yeah.
The only thing is there's no, like, R. Kelly, we got his ass. We got him on tape. Trey Songz, this is going to be hard to prove either way. Like, we don't know. Because they could be lying. And then I believe Trey's brother came out and was like, well, they all got the same lawyers.
Does he even have $20 million?
Like, this is turning into a multi-million-dollar, because them 20 millions is adding up. And I'm like, honey, you only had a couple good records.
Trey Songz is only worth $12 million.
He only worth $12 million. He gonna be child.
Not this bitch said, I want all of it, and I want his next 3 albums.
How you gonna pay for that?
He gonna have this nigga gonna be on tour until 2035.
He better start doing them Vegas tours. Hell, you see Usher's Vegas tours, yo. He got strippers in there and sliding off poles. I'm like, oh, okay. Is this what we become? Is this who we are? I'm looking at R&B.
Damn, Trey Songz is 37.
He is.
Trey Songz is gonna be 38 this year. That's kind of crazy. He almost 40. He almost 40 been in the game and you only 12. This is why I stay in the Queen. Okay, Nicki Minaj been here for 13 years. You know what I'm saying? You got to monopolize. You got to. 12 million is a lot of money.
That's what happens when you come for the Queen too. Okay, we ain't forget about that. Look, and then people were still trying to bring up Keke Palmer situation, saying, "Oh, well, y'all just basing it off of what she said, and it had nothing to do with sexual. She was sexually intimidated." But still, that's kind of a form of assault. But whatever.
Well, good luck. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I am.
He's gonna be in jail. He ain't got that money. He gonna go to jail. He gonna be bottoms up.
Well, I mean, not bottoms up.
So I met Trey Songz twice, right?
Oh Lord. Are you officially like?
No, I'm not going. I'm not doing it.
Okay,
I'm not going to do it on this show. I'm going to talk to you after we get off this live.
No, we had conversations.
Did I tell you about the time I met him twice when I was in college? Yeah. So this is all just interesting to me.
Don't let this thing
right. I'm like, all of this is interesting to me. I'm like, why are you? Oh, now
show host claims that
you attacking these girls' booty holes now. You could have just had booty hole from the beginning.
We ain't insinuating anything.
Allegedly.
But you know, how you doing? I told you we're gonna be raunchy this episode, okay? We're gonna get into that ass this episode, okay?
Get to that ass like Trey Songz did.
Oh Lord Jesus. Anyway.
Boom. That's when you should have dropped the bomb. That's crazy.
Many words about it. They call this great.
Period. Oh, but prayers for everyone involved. I hope justice is served. I hope the truth comes out. You know, if she take all his money, Whataburger is hiring as well as Taco Bell. They're starting at $18 an hour.
You better be somebody vocal coach. Hell.
Trey Songz teaching somebody how to sing.
Trey Songz, he had his moments where he could sing. Like he had his moments, like, but he's not like a.
And I wish I never did it. The only songs he sounds good on is when he sounds like R. Kelly. That's just facts. Any other time he sounds like a dying goat, and we just don't need it.
Not a dying goat.
He's a great writer, though. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
What about it? Hold on.
I definitely agree. He's definitely good at like his lyrics and stuff like that is very top tier. Like, this is a couple of songs that I really do listen to from Trey Songz. I'm not gonna hold you, but if it's proven that you are a little R. Kelly in the making, you is definitely gonna get the same treatment. We deleting music out here, okay? We ain't helping you. Ain't funding your damn legal fees. Anyway. Oh, we got a little feature with Tokyo. Not Tokyo. Yeah. Oh, you're not even on your mic.
Yoshi wants to be a pick because he's annoying.
Yoshi, there we go. Why would I say Tokyo? Who ain't the cat?
Tokyo's the cat. Mm-hmm.
Right.
My baby girl. But my little he I don't know what it is. I took him walking before we started. Just I want to make sure he didn't have to pee before we got on camera. I fed him a little snack. So I'm like, what do you want? And he was like, oh, I just want to be with you because he's annoying. I love you too. Say, what you doing? I want to see.
Oh, well, another topic that we want to talk about, and this is something that you're kind of excited to talk. Well, you're like interested in talk about.
Very much so.
Interview with T.S. Madison and Monique. Now, T.S. Madison has been doing this talk show on Fox Soul, which I see. I never get to watch it, but I do watch a little bit of the clips, and I've seen a lot of the clips that she had with Monique, and they were talking about the situation with Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, her blackball situation, which was very interesting because we found out, and I don't know if this was already common knowledge, but Tyler Perry had nothing to do with Precious, but he was going around telling people that she's difficult. I always thought it was Lee. And like Oprah and Tyler just stayed compliant. You get what I'm saying? But it was Tyler Perry. And people actually called him, like she said, Kevin Hart called. I mean, she has the recording of him admitting that he was wrong for doing that. Kevin Hart called him. They said somebody else, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton. It's so crazy. It's like, oh my goodness, like what was the reason? That's just what my whole question.
Money. Come on.
Money?
Stay with us. Yes. Listen. Precious was a box office hit. It
Mhm.
was an Academy Award nominated movie, Academy Award winning movie. Monique got her Oscar from Precious. And the potential was always there. I think that Tyler Perry, when you think about his background, him coming from being homeless in New Orleans and putting on a stage play and watching that stage play bloom into movies and television, and him becoming like this godfather of Black Hollywood in Atlanta. I think that he's very ambitious and he understood the assignment, and he just wanted Monique to kind of like play the game with him. But Monique was in the industry before we even knew what a Tyler Perry was. And for her, right. And so for her to put her foot down as a Black woman in Hollywood saying, no, I'm not going to work for you for free. If this is a white company, you saying you're not afraid of those boys, like, why are you asking me to do something that they would ask me to do? Right. I just think that it was that he was overzealous, and that, sometimes it's your own people who get bought into that lifestyle or bought into Hollywood and start doing the same thing that the oppressors do. Right. And, there are people who've worked with Tyler Perry and are grateful for Tyler Perry for creating an opportunity for them. I think he does great work for, putting on Black actors and Black actresses and creating opportunities and space for us to create and play. And I think that he's also a great blueprint for playwrights who are, afraid to take it to the next level or to try to take it to that space. But this was a misstep in his career. And I think that if we're really going to be about Black empowerment, there are moments where we have to hold each other accountable. And I think that in this particular situation, when Monique started opening her mouth and speaking her truth, there should have been a rush of Black Hollywood to her defense, a rush of Black actresses to her defense, and actors, they were quiet because they didn't want to jeopardize their own money. They were quiet because they didn't want to align themselves with someone who's a disruptor, right? Because we've been taught that once you disrupt the process, then you also can be blackballed too. And and it's like a public lynching. Monique was publicly lynched 10 years ago because she said, no, I don't want to work for free. She was publicly lynched by her own people, people we admire, people that we think are dope. And in the interview, she said, Oprah stayed silent. Oprah was like, listen, look, if you want to promote the movie,
Oprah, I mean, what would she have lost if she didn't stay silent? Nothing.
I think that if Oprah had opened her mouth and spoke and just said, I understand Monique's position and I respect it, it would have probably just died. And I think that the issue and why people were like, oh, I don't like Monique, or I don't believe her, blah, 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 is because she was left out there by herself. And I had the conversation with some of my friends about the whole Monique Precious situation, about her not wanting to promote for free. And people are like, oh, I just don't like the way she went about it. I'm just like, okay, well, I realized I was talking to people who go to a 9 to 5 every day. They clock in, somebody tells them what to do, they do it, and they get a paycheck, and that's it, right? I realized that I wasn't having conversations with people who literally have to create their own paycheck, people who have to literally create their own way every day. And when you are the person that gets to decide, listen, my time is not free. If you want me to do X, Y, and Z, it's going to cost you this much because this is what my time is worth. If you're not dealing with somebody who has those conversations, they're not going to understand it. That's why when I was going on Twitter and seeing the reactions to this, I'm like, okay, I'm literally clicking people's things like, okay, this person literally works at Rent-A-Center. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be in a room with someone who's asking you to do something that requires time away from your family, right? The things that are important to you. They want you to do it for free because of what might happen, right? They want you to take on the risk of what might happen.
We had this conversation many episodes ago.
Right. When also in Hollywood, what you learn is contract is king. Yes, it's great building relationships. What does the black and white say? What does the black and white say? You and I had this conversation in my first season on this show. What does the contract say? If I have fulfilled my contractual obligation, anything you're asking me to do outside of that, especially if you want me to do it for free, it's considered a favor, right? And if I tell you no, you have to pay me to do X, Y, and Z. That means you drop another contract. It's called renegotiation.
And she said the touring wasn't in the contract.
It wasn't part of the contract because it was an independent film. They didn't know that it was going to win so big at Sundance. They didn't know that it was going to blow over at ABFF. They didn't know that it was going to do those things. And when it did, what should have happened from Lee Daniels, the person that did the initial contract with her, is there should have had a conversation about renegotiating her contract. Yes, she gets 5% of the film. Yes, she got paid $50,000, but we need to add in a promotion allowance because now we want to campaign for this film for the Academy.
Yes,
and that didn't happen.
Now I see. Okay, so now I see it. So basically, they didn't expect this to blow up the way that it did.
Right.
Usually, when we're talking about a Disney or Universal, you get the contract, you'll get a fee. So actors are getting paid for tours.
Yeah, and they know that when they sign on to a major. So when you sign on to a major studio production, you already understand, especially before you go into your reading. Before you go into your reading, if you have a good agent, you understand what could come of this movie. When they were doing Ice Age, or when they started doing the Shrek series with Austin Powers. What's his name? No, not Austin Powers. What's Austin Powers' real name? Mike Myers, right? So when you're about to, you're like, okay, this is going to be a huge franchise. Kids are going to love this, blah, blah, blah. You negotiate, okay, well, this is how much it's going to cost me to be in the movie. This is the percentage I want on the sales at the box office. This is how much it's going to cost me to promote this movie because I know it's going to be animated. It's going to be animated. It's going to be up for, it's going to be up for, an award for the Oscars. Who's on the soundtrack? Blah, blah, blah. Like all those things, you can negotiate those things, and it's built into your contract so that it does feel like you're doing it for free. Like, yeah, we're going to campaign the hell out of this
and when
movie.
I was doing, because I actually took film class, like film directing class, and we were trained on like budgeting for films and like all the different things that you have to like account for.
Right.
So I was like, so okay, I can understand. So those episodes ago, I didn't get it, but also I didn't know. I'm not sure if that was preview that Tyler Perry was the one that was doing the saying that she was difficult, because I don't think we knew that when we had that episode long ago.
But even without,
or at least I didn't know.
Even without us knowing that piece of information about Tyler Perry being the one spreading that she was difficult, we have heard since the beginning. Her story has been consistent about what she was obligated to do for that movie. She has always consistently said, "I agreed to $50,000 to be in this movie. I got 5% of the movie. They asked me to promote it after it went to a festival and won, and I told them, no, I'm not promoting it for free." That's what she said. And then what did people say? People who go to work and clock in for $15 an hour, they said, oh, she's being ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that she was ungrateful. You're asking her to do literal work. You're asking her to travel the country.
And that's coming out of her pocket, because of what
out of her pocket.
Her hotel expenses.
Exactly. You're asking her now, of the $50,000 that she made, for her to promote this movie, it would have cost her half of that.
And let's
travel from state to state.
And let's be clear, the people that's working 9 to 5, if your job tells you to do something extra when you're not on the clock, or you not, I'm pretty sure your ass will say no too.
It's illegal. It's against labor laws. You can't do work off the clock. It's against labor laws to do work off the clock. When you clock in, okay, the contract starts. When you clock out, the contract is over. Right? So for her to have been saying for the past 10 years, listen, I don't hate these people. All I'm saying is they asked me to do something for free. I said no. And then next thing you know, I'm difficult to work with because I said no to the wrong people. I said no to the wrong people who look like me. That's what she said. So now that the rest of the story is coming out, she's been saying the same thing for 10 years. Her story has been consistent. The only people that have flip-flopped, or the only people that have said one thing in private and said something different publicly,
is Tyler and, well, actually Oprah didn't say shit.
She ain't gonna say nothing.
And Lee Daniels, I think he tried to address it or tried to apologize, but like the damage is already done.
They owe her a public apology. All of them owe her a public apology. And they need to just admit the truth. Just say, yeah, I did it. But it's going to cost them money Tyler Perry's reputation after this would be very questionable. Are you for black people, or are you for black people that can make you money?
I mean, that's been a decade-long conversation. I mean, that's. I mean, this is the starter, but people was questioning Tyler Perry. But we're all in we're on a space where, oh my god, like he made it out the mud. He ended up getting this Hollywood like studio, and he's doing big things. But it's like, yeah, but you're doing this, you're doing shit like this also. And then when you talk about, when you get into Tyler Perry films and the way that black people are depicted, that's a whole nother conversation.
He's been making money off of minstrel shows for years, like, and it's funny, like it's.
And then I found out Azealia was actually is a drag queen. That is he was inspired by a drag queen. Yeah. I found out about one of my mutuals. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Miss Sophia. He came to one of her shows. He used her tag.
He used to sit in and take notes.
Yeah, he did. He did what white people do all the time. And you know, I listen. Now I don't want to, like I said, I don't want the name of our show to be changed to "Are We Canceled Yet?" But you know, Tyler Perry operates off the Beyonce method. I like that. I want it. I see it. I want to do that, and he just does it. And he makes it his, and he works on it. And I think that he has mastered his craft. He to a space where he done told us that Madea was going to be gone, and next thing you know, there's a new movie coming out. I'm like, well, damn, did she leave or not? It's a homecoming. I thought she was dead. I thought she was.
Madea hair always laid, but I don't know everybody else, child.
Well, she got the biggest budget. But yeah, it's really sad to see, and I think that Monique deserves the redemption, and I think that for her to be a part and ingrained in Black female comedy history, and to have won an Oscar for an amazing performance in Precious, you know, I just think that it's sad that it took this route. Did not see this for Monique's future. Definitely thought that she was going to be, you know, she was going to be the Whoopi Goldberg. You know, like Whoopi was in comedy and just keep acting and like showing us her range and inspiring us, even though she's had some missteps with her, you know, talking to us like babies and trying to tell us what to wear and how we're supposed to look in public and stuff like that. But this is part of her charm, and I think that I'm glad that she's still able to speak her story, and that the story hasn't changed. Her story has been consistent for 10 years. 10 years, a whole decade. So anyway, I believe Monique. I have always believed Monique. And you know, I hope that this rolls into a space where there can be a conversation. Maybe they need to call Zeus and have the conversation. with Monique.
It's gonna have to take this, because I want to see Monique and other stuff. Like I, you know, as far as her comedy tour and stuff like that, movies. Like, I don't think that it's over for Monique. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like only way for us to get to that point is if we have this conversation and this reconciliation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything to reconcile. It's just an admission of truth. Like I feel like as a nation of people, I'm not talking about America, but like there are so many truths that we hide that just hinder us. And I don't know what people are so afraid of. Like if we just live in the truth, like they say, the truth shall set you free. Once you live in the truth, like there's nothing else. What is there else to be said? And you can really move on from stuff. People are still carrying around lies and secrets they have since childhood. Like live in your truth and let that be it. Live in your truth. If we all just live in our truth, I feel like the world would be in a totally different space, right? And kind of goes back to our area of politics. People politically operate in their truth in that space, right? I believe this. You know how strong people are about their political beliefs? I believe this, and this, right? Live in that. Be in that. Operate in that, right? However, you'll be surprised to see that once everyone starts living in their truth, starts speaking their truth, and operate in that space, there's going to be so much room for understanding, so much room for communication, so much room for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And that is where we will find progress. Like, we get stifled in these spaces because we get to a stalemate where you have people who want to move forward and you have people who just will not. And it just keeps like this. It hinders progress. If every person says, well, this is what my truth is. Okay, well, this is what my truth is. I hear you, you hear me. Even if we don't agree, I hear you, I understand you. If you hurt me, I forgive you. I hurt you, please forgive me, or I'm sorry. And then it creates so much more space and room for everybody. And I think that as Black people, we have to get in the practice more of holding each other accountable in truth and in love, understanding that, yes, what I'm saying may hurt you, or what I'm saying, it may cost you something by me telling you the truth, right? But I'm doing this because I actually care about you and us, and I want us to get in the space where we can operate in that space freely, because there are people watching us. People are watching Monique. People are watching Tyler Perry. People are watching Lee Daniels. People have been watching Oprah for years and idolizing and building their life blueprint off of these people. So what happens when we see them get to a stalemate? It just says, okay, well, there may be a point in my life where I'm not going to be able to move forward because I'm being hindered by my own people, because of somebody else's arrogance or somebody else's inability to apologize or to say, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
It costs nothing.
I was wrong. So yeah, I was glad that she did that interview. I wish that she would release the tape, even though there are implications that if she does release the tape publicly, that Tyler would be able to take punitive action because he was recorded without his consent. But if there is evidence, like Tyler,
in what state? Because there's some states that don't care about that law.
Well, I mean, she's in California. I think California does that law. The same law against revenge porn. You can't record people without their consent. That's wiretapping. That's a federal offense. That's a felony.
But damn, she should have been in Jersey. Because I felt that law ain't in Jersey.
All you got, in Jersey you can say, I'm recording this conversation. All you need is one person's consent. Like, I'm gonna record this conversation. This is such and such.
Ooh.
For my record. Hey girl. How y'all doing? But yeah, I really wish that I hope it gets better.
Period. Well, speaking of people living in their truth,
right?
We gotta talk about Azealia Banks.
Oh God, what is the 212 queen talking about?
Not the 212 queen. Well, following the recent breakup between Kanye and Julia Fox, Azealia shared some heated words about the pair's short-lived relationship, claiming that it was a weak PR stunt. In several Instagram story posts on February 25th, the rapper alleged that Ye had broken up with Julia Fox because she was a liability, claiming that she lacked any real motherly instinct, trying to come from her motherly skills child. Azealia also brought up the fact that Julia's past and her struggles with addiction, prompting the Forbidden Fruits podcast host to fire back and defend herself. Okay, so the two go back and forth on social media. Azealia Banks is talking about her parenting, and Julia's clapping back, saying that she's miserable and you wonder why no one, wants to see you on the holidays and stuff like that. First of all, I didn't even know these girls knew each other. And Azealia Banks did something so crazy, right? She posted a picture, allegedly, because we don't know who is that person. Could be Julia, could be somebody else. This child shooting up, child. Shooting up, okay, and you know what I mean.
Heroin.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Child.
Sharkeisha, don't hit her.
You said Sharkeisha?
Sharkeisha, no.
Azealia Banks, honey. First of all, how did you get that picture?
And second of all, why you can't mind your business?
I mean, what was the reason? I and some people, a lot of our fellow commentators, we're talking, and I was listening to a lot of other people talk about this. Like, yo, Azealia was definitely shooting with her child. Because how you know too much? How you know so much information about Julia Fox and to have a picture of her shooting up? Like, honey, were you taking the picture?
Like, who gave this to you? Why do you have this? And why can't you mind your business? This has nothing to do with you, ma'am. Mind your business.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Azealia was doing so good. I thought she was in therapy. I thought she was gonna get her life together and focus on the new music. And here you are minding these other folks' black and white ass business. Why?
I mean, it has. I mean, didn't she say something? There was something else. She was like, "Oh, Kanye West owe her money or some shit."
Kanye owes her money, so she's gonna be in his business with Julia Fox.
Well, you know how Azealia Banks does. She'll sit there and be like, she'll go on tangents. She'll sit there, come for your ass for one thing, and then have your ass in 20 other Insta story posts with paragraphs saying, "Well, you know what? Also, you a crackhead and you still ain't over this shit."
Right, but is it because she's isn't she like bipolar or something? Did she get diagnosed or something?
I mean, I don't know if that's confirmed. I mean,
she was in therapy for something, but like, I just want Azealia Banks to mind her business and make us new music. Like, just give us the music. What is wrong with these artists? And I'm saying, I mean, I know that there probably a coming point in life where people will probably want me to shut up too, and just give them something they can bop to. But like, girl, this literally was so random and had nothing to do with her.
Yeah,
nothing to do with you. And the general consensus of the people is we don't care about Kanye's relationship. We are moving, like, we don't care.
And we don't care about Julia Fox to know some type of truth, or that she's not a good parent, or she's who is
we
this
don't care
child?
about Julia Fox. We knew what Julia Fox.
Taking pictures with Dirty Snow. Like, don't nobody want to know about her.
Julia Fox is a rebound from a Kardashian. We don't care about her. We knew that there was a whole moment with Kanye about him being upset that his wife has a whole boyfriend, because I don't think they're divorced yet. His wife has a boyfriend that he doesn't like. So he got a girlfriend that he thought that she would care or be threatened by. And Kim doesn't care. Like, she doesn't care. She just don't care.
Kim is so unbothered. It almost makes you think like, well, did you ever really love him?
She loved, but she was very clear about her loving him, and that, it got to a point where Kanye became insufferable. Like, how you just tell me that you want, now, first of all, this is a Calabasas princess, by the way. You want to move me and our whole family to a compound in fucking, what was it? Wyoming?
Not a compound.
Bitch, I can't. A Kardashian on a farm? It's not happening.
Kill me, girl.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. And then while he was going through his breakdown, it just wasn't working. And that's, I think, why as a black man, as a black artist too, we all kind of sat back and said the same thing. It's like, you know what? Kanye is clearly still stuck in grief. Kanye has had an emotional and mental breakdown. And, there were so many black women in Hollywood who were like, Kanye needs to be surrounded by black women that love him. Like, he needs that motherly kind of like influence. And I'm sure he doesn't get that from Chris, but he doesn't have that around him. And he actively doesn't seek it out, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's sad to see. And I think that for Kim, who, she loves him. They were friends before they became, lovers and spouses. I'm sure that for her, it's really heartbreaking to know that as much as she gave to him, like, it wasn't enough to keep him. It wasn't enough to keep him. You know what I mean? And so now I think she's just tired. She's trying to move into a happy space. And child, Kanye can do whatever. But Azealia Banks, I'm still stuck on this. Girl, who asked you? Like, I thought they took your Twitter. This was on Twitter. She had to post it on Twitter.
No, this is all on Insta story. You know she be doing
Instagram. Oh, okay. So I thought she got banned on Twitter, but I just Azealia, mind your business and give us new music.
Go ahead, give us some club bangers.
That's all we ask for. That's all we want.
Come on. Let's get into it now. Speaking of Kanye, he's been publicly sharing issues with Pete Davidson and his estranged wife Kim Kardashian, as we spoke before. In an Instagram post, Kanye shared a screen record of like Davidson's 2018 SNL skit, and it was it was like the one where he was like wearing it looked like the MAGA hat, and it said like make Kanye 2008 again or something like that. So he's been going back and forth with Pete, and it's just like
back and forth. I see.
This is the person that you choose to be your joker. Anything? No, well, not back and forth. Well, I mean back and forth to himself.
I'm like back and forth requires two people entertaining each other.
Back and forth to himself because apparently he's imagining Pete coming back for him because it seems in his mind it's a two-way argument, but he's going back and forth with himself. Yeah, like I don't. This is getting very weird, and I feel like a lot of people.
It's getting weird, bitch. It's been weird.
And I know I feel like we talked about this a lot because it just keeps on getting worse. Like he just keeps on talking about him, but like a lot of people that are like Kanye fans or just are trying to relate to the situation, as in, oh, he's fighting for his wife, he's fighting for love, this, that, and the third. Like I do the same thing. Like, no, if you. Regular Bob on the street that does that same shit would be called a predatory stalker. Like, why are we like Charlemagne said, why are we dick riding dysfunction?
I have no idea. I just wish it would stop at some point.
It's not like he's probably still tweeting as of right now, or making some Instagram posts about Pete. Like, this is the person that you choose to be your joker. This is your joker,
right? I got a question. So, are you watching the new Kardashian show? The Kardashians
on Disney Plus?
Hell
no. What is it about?
I'm assuming the Kardashians. I mean, what are their other shows about?
I mean, what's the drama? Because they got to have drama to have to do
what's the drama? Kim's going through a divorce. Khloe's getting cheated on again. Kourtney doesn't care about being a Kardashian. Kylie's still fucking rich.
So same old.
I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't keep up with them, but I'm assuming that's what their life is like right now, based off of the headlines.
Yeah, I mean it's on. I didn't even know it was on yet.
Yeah, and debuted last maybe a couple weeks ago. I saw the thing on the.
I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna watch it. I mean, I said, like,
I just don't want to. I don't care about them anymore. I feel like we've been treating them like they're the Kennedys of entertainment, and. To me, they're not. They're entertaining to me. They're not. They don't have talent. Like, none of them have a real talent. None of them have a talent. Maybe Kendall. And her talent is walking.
And giving cops Pepsis.
Like, none of the Kardashians have a talent. But we've been watching these people for 13 years. I mean, we are part of the insanity. At what point do we decide? That's a good question. Now we're talking about Kanye and Kim. Like, I think that Kanye has definitely put he's put the exclamation point on the craziness of the Kardashian clan. But at what point do we tune out of this madness? I feel like we're waiting for the next train wreck. It's like those train wrecks that happen slow when they happen over and over and over again. But this whole Kanye situation is like, we've watched how they've destroyed black men and their family. Like every black man that comes in contact with them, men in general, really, they either die, become drug addicts, transition, or go fucking crazy.
Not transition. Yeah, but I mean,
why are we still watching this witchcraft?
I wish they would have waited, like, because y'all left TV, y'all left the show because y'all felt like it's running its course, and if y'all would have came back years later, years later, maybe it would have had some type of resonance. Like, let me see what it's about a little bit.
Don't come back. Just go live.
But they gotta make money because I guess they figured out that
you're gonna make money forever.
Internet, not like TV. So that's probably why they back.
I'm just waiting for all of them to fucking just get those fucking melanin shots and just pop up on Instagram as black women. Just do it already. Shit, I'm just tired. Y'all done got on my goddamn nerve.
Child,
Just do it, and just so we can all move on. We know what it is. Just do it so we can move on.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I don't know what's going on with the Kardashians, but I'm not watching it. And then it's on Disney Plus. Girl, I came to watch Star Wars and Disney Princesses.
I always tell y'all the same thing. No, I want for Kanye the same thing I want for Kenya Moore. What is it? One word.
Therapy.
Therapy. That's it. I don't want nothing else from Kanye but therapy. His music is his music, but I want therapy. I want to, if we get a show, I want a show about Kanye in therapy.
Well, now, he did a documentary.
Now, have you been watching Genius? Have you been watching that about Kanye, about his early years and like, I think it's on Netflix, his 3-part documentary?
No, I haven't been watching that. No, that's what
Watch it and then tell me all about it because I'm not gonna watch it. But watch it and tell me all about it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel like I think Kanye has a story to be told. I feel like we saw this coming. Like I feel like nobody's ever really surprised, not really surprised. Once we found out that Kanye was going to be part of the Kardashian circus, we expected the worst. So I just y'all just pray for Kanye and find him a good black female therapist that will help him get his shit together.
Get Ayanla. Ayanla needs to be in here.
No, yes. Ayanla would have been unsmacked everybody.
Like, enough. We're not going to do this here.
We're not doing this today.
Not on my watch.
Now, bitch, now for her finale, had she got the fucking Kardashians and Kanye for the finale of Ayanla Fix My Life,
or they would have had like, or they would have given
a 3-part finale.
Remember with the Braxton Family Values when they had Ayanla come up in there? They look,
child.
Because I need Ayanla to be like, Chloe, you are more than your. Let me. You are more than your surgery. He keeps on walking out, and you're gonna have to figure out how to let
him go. Right, let him go. Chloe's story is getting kind of sad to me. It's like, I believe in love, and I've always been a compassionate and a forgiving person. But my thing with forgiveness is I will forgive you. I'm never gonna forget. But once I've forgiven you of something that I don't want to experience again, you're literally cut out of my life. Like I will definitely like ghost you. Like rest in peace. Like you will be in the ground.
She let the fucking door open.
But Chloe is just like, oh, I forgive him. This man cheats on you every year. Every year. Every year. The only thing left for Khloe Kardashian to do or to say publicly that will make any of this make sense is to say, I have agreed, me and my husband or boyfriend, I don't even know what he is anymore. We have agreed to have an open relationship. That way it would make sense. Otherwise, girl, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like love is a crazy thing. Like, yeah, well, love isn't. It's one thing to be a fool for love, but there's a totally different thing for love to be making a fool out of you. And love is making a fool out of her. It's making a complete fool out of Khloe. And regardless of her catfishing endeavors with all these different faces she's had over the past 3 years, I think that there is some level of respect that is due to her, at least for being the mother of his child. And for him to continually, like literally annually, publicly embarrass her. I think it's sad. It's sad to watch. It's sad to watch. But I also, on the other side, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, this is a black man getting back at the Kardashians. Or maybe I should be rooting for this man. You know what I mean? Like, should I be rooting for this man?
No, Chloe needs to stand up. Stand up. Like, she needs to stand up.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's different. When you have kids with somebody, I know that may be a totally different thing. And her love for him may be one of those things where she's willing to tolerate. People have different levels of toleration. There have been people that I've known, or couples that I've known that have been married for 50 years, and they'll tell you stories of the shit they've gone through and people cheating and, having bouts of, physical altercations and having to go to therapy and taking time apart and keep finding each other. And listen, if that is how your relationship is set up, if you feel like your relationship with a person requires you to do a decathlon of hurtful things or things that are degrading or publicly embarrassing, if that is what you feel you have to do for love, then by all means do it. Okay, it just ain't for me.
And that's just and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
Kardashian family in the nutshell, child. Because I can't with them.
the Kardashian coven.
Okay.
So what else is right? So what else is going on? Speaking of witches, look. Speaking of witches,
not witches. She ain't no witch. No good news. News. Do what you want with it. Wendy Williams is back on social media. She has created a personal Instagram account where she has been talking to her fans and giving them updates. That there was a video, like a 5-minute video with her son recording her talking about like how she's doing. She's been living in Florida. She's been hanging out with her father and her family. She's doing really, really better.
What?
Better
sorry,
than before.
I just saw this headline. I'm sorry, I'm gagging. Go ahead.
What headline?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the headline that I had skipped, but yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
So Radar Online reported that Wendy Williams has distanced herself from her friends and her staff, and it looks like she may have been falling back with her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter.
Bitch, I am gagged at this. It's like, that's what I'm gagging at.
Allegedly. Now, here's the thing.
I thought she had a new boyfriend.
Now
the boyfriend is Kevin?
Now you know.
Oh, Lord.
I think that we're at a space where we're getting a little good because when I seen her in that video, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, she could be playing up to it. She seems better. Like she seems like Wendy again.
She seems like she's not fucking high, is what she seems like.
Well,
that's what she seems like. Anyway,
so,
go ahead.
But if that's true that he's back around, I mean, I hope it's platonic. That's what I'm hoping. That is just platonic, and you understand that your ex-wife is going through some things, and you got to be step parent. Well, not step parent, but like you got to be co-parent. Well, the boy is
co-parent. He is grown. Kevin is like 24. Like, come on.
Just if it, I just hope it's platonic. I hope it's platonic. I hope they're not fucking or they doing well. I mean, they grown, but like we don't need Wendy fucked up again. You get what I'm saying? Because the last time you done did, I mean, let's be clear that she hasn't been right since that whole situation.
She got to be back on drugs if she back with Kevin.
I'm not saying she back. Look, that's not what they're saying. They just say that they've been communicating. They've been, conversating. Conversing. Collaborating.
Child. Well, good for Wendy. Is she coming back to her show? I hear that Sherry Shepherd's going to be the permanent guest host. I want Sherry Shepherd to get her time slot. I feel like we have had our run of Wendy Williams. During this break, we realized we really don't need her. And I feel like she should just enjoy retirement, take your little money, go find your peace and your happiness, mind your own business, and focus on your health for the next 5 years that you may be alive.
I'm giving you Nene Leaks right now.
You finna shut the laptop?
I'm finna shut. No, I do not like what's going on.
I'm just saying, I love Wendy Whit. No, I don't. I just don't think this is necessary.
Okay, if that's the case, then we need someone that's like Wendy. Because I don't want Sherry Shepherd to talk about politics.
We need someone that's like Wendy. Okay.
Yeah.
You got Jason
if it's not
Lee,
Wendy.
You've got the Breakfast Club. You've got what are all these other? You got Armand Wiggins. You got Tasha K. You got T.S. Madison. You have all of these new outlets of gossip, of gossip in the Black entertainment sphere. We don't need Wendy anymore. She was the godmother. Let her retire. Let her focus on her health, her mental health, her physical health. But we will be okay without Mindy giving us her opinion about other people's business. We will survive. But will she? That's the question.
Oh, no. Well, look. I mean, I don't know. I said it when they got Whoopi suspended. I'm like, Wendy going, they done suspended Whoopi. I mean, my daytime television, it's pretty much over for me.
Become
Like,
your own daytime television. You got a
right.
phone. You see what we doing. You
Now
can
we're gonna
read
start
just like
doing morning shows. Hey,
you
Darren,
get
good
look
morning.
right. You get the same information they get. Okay, Radar Online pops up on their desk just like it popped up on your laptop. They are reporting on the same shit you reporting on. Okay, we don't need Wendy Williams anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you for your services. Where's Shawnee O'Neal? For my Shawnee.
We're all gonna buy.
Right. We love your song. We're all gonna buy it. But I feel like
I
Wendy,
see.
without her health issues, though, no, seriously,
Mhm.
like no shade. This is like literally no shade.
Mm.
I think that with Wendy undergoing or having so many health issues and the emotional issues that she's succumbed to after the divorce and the public humiliation of her husband having a baby on her and all this kind of stuff, I feel like if Wendy decided to bow out right now, you can't do anything but respect it. Yes, we want to see Black women be strong and stand up in the face of adversity and blah, blah, blah. But why? Why do we want to see them do that all the time? Why do we want to see them carry so much weight all the time? What does it mean when we see them go through this fire and be like, oh, they're so strong? Like, what does that really mean? Right? No. What I want to see from Wendy is I want her to say, I got to put myself first. And this has been an amazing career. I've done this for 30 years. You know, I have interviewed some of the
I don't think
best
she
and
wants
brightest.
out. I don't think she wants out.
But she can do this from her house. Wendy Williams don't need to have the Wendy Williams show on TV every day. Wendy Williams could have her phone and a ring light. Wendy Williams could, no, seriously, Wendy Williams could go to Instagram and report on the things that she's seeing every day.
She
And
can
she would
Howard
still,
Stern it out. She
and
can
she would
have a podcast. Look,
right. Wendy Williams could go back to radio where we don't have to worry about what you look like. We don't have to worry about what your health is given. You can set your own schedule. You don't
you
need
can
a
say
whole
what you
full
want.
team. You can still create advertising space to make your money. Like Wendy needs to focus. I feel like Wendy needs to focus on herself, and there has to be a succession and an exit strategy for Wendy Williams, because what we don't want is for her to die on air or for her to, you know, go down another spiral and overdose. We don't want her to go through this publicly watching her deteriorate. Like, even though I don't really care for Wendy that much, I don't want to see that for her. Like, I don't want to have to witness this lady deteriorate before my eyes. I want to see this woman be strong enough to say, you know what? I have had an amazing career. Amazing career. You know what I mean? I have broken down barriers. I have, you know, I won't say made friends, but she's definitely inspired a generation of entertainment reporters, because we want to be in that space where Wendy is, right? Like, Wendy's your idol. You want to be able to sit on the couch with somebody and talk about their movie they're in, or you want to talk about, you know, what's going on at the Real Housewives where they're taping, and you want to do those things, which is a coup to her influence, right?
Yeah.
She's influenced an entire generation of journalists, and I think that at this particular stage of her career, I would be absolutely okay with her retiring from television and, I don't know, get a job at a community college, or get a job go teach journalism, go teach entertainment news, teach us how to do it, you know, or go home. Just go home.
What she
Enjoy
should
your
have done
money.
is try to have a prodigy. She should have had a prodigy. So
I think that's what she was doing with Nick
with who?
With Nick when he guest starred on her show 2 years ago.
Nick who? Cannon?
Yeah, like, as far as, you know, his show comes on after hers. So he was supposed to be she's the lead-in to his show. But I mean, there's so many. Charlemagne is her prodigy.
Right. And I'd have been like, okay, because at least he give it up. You get what I'm saying? But he got his other stuff. He's still on the Breakfast Club, and he has a show on Comedy Central. I don't know. I mean, damn, like, chat. That was and that was the highlight of my 10 a.m. Like, I used to get up like, oh my, what's she gonna say? Is it going to break it? Like, because usually sometimes it don't break the end of it, but sometimes people be talking about it. People like bad at Wendy. I'm like, ooh, not Wendy saying. I don't have that when I wake up, I'm just like, girl, all right, guess I'm gonna watch The View, whatever they talk about. I'm just like, and then like the whole thing with Cheryl is entertaining. I love Cheryl, Sherry Shepherd. I don't know why I called her Cheryl. But I don't.
It's Wendy has her own brand. There's never going to be another Wendy Williams. Like, I don't think anybody cares as much as she does. But nobody cares.
I mean, at the end of the day, but like people like it or not, and people like to sit there and say, "Oh, Wendy, you know, she started all this shit, and she, you know, was talking about people and was very like, you know, disrespectful." But like, let's be clear, who wants to hear it? Okay, like everybody wants to talk about the person that spreads the drama, but like y'all listen. You get what I'm saying? Like people are listening, and that's kind of what I kind of get taken back when certain people be like, "Well, Wendy did her dirt and this, that, and third." But yeah, but you were listening, you were gagged. A lot of us was.
Oh yes. You know, I just still haven't given her from her interview with Whitney Houston. I probably should get over that, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't think I'm ever going to. Period.
I forgave her about what she said about Beyonce because I was like, when I first experienced with Wendy, and it was late in the game when she was trying to say Beyonce wasn't really pregnant. That's my first experience with Wendy because I wasn't with the radio and all that. I was so mad at her. I was like, "Why are you coming for Beyonce?" This, that, and third. And then I just started watching. And I was like, "Okay, this actually might what I want to do." Because it's fun. Like I don't know.
I'm came for Beyonce. You were like, that's the moment. It's Beyonce thing. You like, oh, I want to do this. I want to fuck up the world.
Child, look. I mean, I guess I'm just still just a fanboy that just, you know, I hate when things change and, you know, people are leaving, have to, you know, move on in life and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's filling the void for my ass. Because look, I already said, I told my best friend the other day, I was like, look, I'm gonna be the Wendy Williams of the internet. I'm manifesting it.
And you're doing Darren, you were doing an amazing job. And I just have to say this to you, not just as your co-host, but as someone who I'm a fan of the show, and I'm also a fan of your work ethic. I know what you do behind the scenes and how you are constantly evolving this show and propelling us into different spaces and adding different things and focus on how the brand is promoted, what it looks like, and tapping into TikTok and tapping into these different platforms and just trying to expand and elevate your brand. And I'm going to say this to you, even though it's live, I will say this to you, whether we're on camera or not. I don't have any doubt at this moment. Now, I don't have any doubt in this moment that you are going to always have a space in this arena, right? Because of your determination and your will to succeed, and your intention, right? You're very clear about what you want to do and what you want to be in this space. And kind of like a Wendy Williams, you have that spirit. Wendy was very clear about what she wanted to do as a disc jockey and talking about celebrity news and going in a different direction, doing things that people weren't doing, right? So I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to be successful in this space. 10 years from now, when we're listening to the Darren Green Show on Sirius XM, and you're interviewing, you know, these artists and actors and politicians or whatever, what I hope for you is that you can look back on this and be proud of the work that you did. And even though I say that you should be more risky, you know, and I feel like that's my.
No, I feel like I should be too. Yeah, I'm starting to.
But honestly, I you know, I feel like that is my purpose. Every time I do a live with you, or what keeps me coming back to the show is not because I need to do this. I don't need to do this. I've done this already. I do it because I know that every show we get a chance to push the needle a little more. And I'm watching you grow into that space that you say you want to be in, even though your personality doesn't dictate that's the space you want to be in. right? Because when we started this, you was like, oh, I'm going to talk about that because people are going to blah, blah, blah. No, Dan, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you talking about you want to be the next Wendy Williams, baby, Wendy didn't give a damn about none of these people. Okay, I ain't making friends. These are not my friends. Okay, we can be cool. You get my number. We can go out to eat. You're not my friend. If something comes up in the tabloids about you, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it because it's entertainment news, and I think that, like I said, 10 years from now, when you look back on this experience on, live stream, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, blah, blah, blah. When you have your own show, you're going to be able to go back and say that if there was no Wendy Williams, I wouldn't have been able to see myself in this space. Right. And so I will always give respect to her for that she, she's an idol of yours. And, that I am very proud of the way that you are moving forward with your career in this space. I think that our listeners, some of our listeners we've had since the beginning, and they also have seen your growth. I have friends that listen to the show and have told me personally that they like how your personality is evolving. You seem more freer now.
Yeah.
So at first, sometimes you were given very much NPR. Like, let me just try to stay nice and polished. I don't want to upset nobody. Okay, I don't want to get canceled.
I know. Yeah.
But understanding that you have a platform and that you've created a space where you yourself have to understand your freedom. You've created this platform for you to freely express yourself. And I think that it wasn't until you got to TikTok where you got pushback, where you realized how important it was for you to be able to speak your own truth, regardless of who agrees with you or not. You understand the impact of you lifting your voice and sticking up for your own truth, your own opinion. And I think that you are like Wendy Williams in that way. She had her opinion. She didn't care if the networks liked it. She didn't care if the stations liked it. This is my opinion about what's going on. And people appreciate that, right? So, yes, I don't have any doubt that you're going to be able to occupy that space. So maybe you can get Wendy Williams' spot. If she decides to be in this motherfucking show until she's in a wheelchair, when she decides to go to fuck home, then maybe Darren Green show can take her spot. But for now, what I want to see is for Wendy to go her ass home and just take a 5-year break. Do a podcast, girl. Come on the Darren Green show. Let me see if I can find an email from Wendy Williams. I want to interview her myself.
Oh, let's get it. Let's get that thing on and popping. Okay, no,
Darren, shut up. Because if Wendy Williams came on this show today, you wouldn't be able to speak. You just sit there.
I'd be like, well,
so, but
okay, I only got starstruck one time when we had an interviewer. It was
Darren. If Wendy Williams popped up on this live right now on Bigo, you would not be able to speak.
I just wouldn't know what to say because I just feel like, okay, because Wendy Williams overpowers any, even when she went on Hollywood Unlocked, like she overpowered that entire show respectfully because
she wouldn't be able to overpower me because I would just close her fucking box. Oh. I'll hit her with a Kamala real quick. I'm speaking. Mute a mic. Cut a mic. Period.
No, but I think, look, I remember this news course. What was it? Remember Jedediah Bila off of The View? I've related to her, and she's a conservative co-host too. I'm not conservative, but I related to her on this one take that she had about like how she does her news and like, yes, I'm an introvert, but I understand that I got to get this work done. So I got to like jump out of being an introvert and do what I have to do. And then I go, you get what I'm saying? So I kind of related. I feel like I'm that type of creator where it's like, before I'm doing an interview, like I'm stressful as hell. Like I'm like, oh my God, what if these questions are not good enough? Like, what if I say this or I offend this person, this, that, and the third? Then I get on to I'm like, okay, well, how you doing? I do my job and then it's it. But it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm that type of creator. I don't know. I mean, I think it's worked. I definitely thank you so much for saying what you said. I feel like I have evolved to a certain extent, and I have to look back and be like, you know what, you did come so far. Like we've been here for 5 years. This is the 5th year.
Oh my God!
This will be the 5th year. Yeah. Like, I'm just so happy to be here. You know, happy to see
You're
that
doing
our
a
listeners
marvelous job. It's an amazing watching your growth, darling.
right, and then I'm happy seeing that our our listeners are really coming over to YouTube and watching a lot that we have to say, not just for the shorts but for the uploads as well. And me working with other creators is just
Can we get these YouTube followers to go to my YouTube channel? I mean, I got a music video coming out, this year, and I would really like y'all guys' support. Like, let's not be coy about the situation, okay? Because the doll brings you life every episode, and I need you to go to my YouTube channel, the Prince Air Doll YouTube channel, and show me some love too. God damn it! But anyway,
links in the description.
Is it? Is it in the description?
Yeah. You're I mean, you want me to put you want me to put the YouTube or the website? Because I have the website, and that's everything.
I need the YouTube because so we can talk about this. So I'll be shooting the music video to Chop next month.
I know, I heard. Oh my god,
Darren, I'm doing a music video.
Do you have like the story? Well, I'm not going to ask you to tell you what the storyline is, but like, do you have like everything?
We have a general idea about what we want. It's definitely going to be ballroom themed, with some other underlying tones to it because I'm the doll, and I want people to watch and be like, wait a minute, there are gonna be some Easter eggs in it. But I'm excited. Like, this will be my first music video, and for one of the songs that had the most impact. I'm still kind of like surprised. Like, Chop turns a year old in May, right? And when I write music, I hear music in color, and I don't know if that makes me autistic or not, but where I hear music and when I write music, I see it in color, and I know what energy I want to bring. I think that the music video is going to bring all red. Like, Chop is a red song, so even when like me choosing the cover art for it, like, you see what color it is, right? Real blue undernotes, but that's how I see the music. For Mirror is a purple song. It's a purple, like, self-reflective, kind of like balanced kind of vibe. So to see that these songs, Mirror hasn't even been out yet, by the way. Mirror's not out yet. It's one of the most watched performances, most requested songs for me to perform live is Mirror. But Chop, like, there were 4-year-olds. Okay, there was a 4-year-old last summer that literally was singing Chop to me in Military Park, and I'm just like, oh my gosh! Like, first time I step on your face, like, I hope you're not in daycare. Talking about telling these kids you're gonna step on their feet and break their necks and shit like that. Clear the room. But it's to be in a space where, kind of like you with your show, being intentional, right? 10 years ago, when I recorded my first song, like, in a studio, I recorded music in from MySpace. I'm that old, right? I was there when Nicki Minaj was there, recording music in my office in college and just posting it to my YouTube, my MySpace page. The first time I was in the studio was like 10 or 11 years ago. And I remember my first meeting being like, I want to be able to create music that is timeless, but also reflects where I am in my own journey. And I feel like Chop is such a song that speaks to transformation. After the shit we went through in 2020, there's so many people that are like, you know what? We're gonna die anyway. Let me just be the boss ass bitch that I am. You know what I mean? Like, let me just get into all of me and own it. I'm so glad that now I get an opportunity to kind of put a visual to it. Oh, also shout out to everyone who donated to the Mirror Project on Facebook. Thank you guys so much. We raised $1,150 on Facebook. Our goal was $3,500. We did not meet it, but we made enough to where I will be able to finish the album, and we are going to have a music video for Chop. I'm thinking about, I'm going to do a part 2 of Mirror Project and launch that probably next week for people who want to donate. But there were people who were like, oh, I couldn't do it online, so I'm going to write you a check, or people send me money on Venmo. And I'm just so grateful to our listeners. There were 2 listeners that donated to the campaign. Thank you so much.
To this show?
2 listeners from the Darren Green Show sent me there. Thank you so much to our listeners who went on Facebook and donated to the campaign. I appreciate you and your support. Like, for us being Black queer creatives, I have learned like there's so much more we can do together than apart. And our community, when we show up for each other, we can show out together. Like, if we show up and show out, like, that's how we create more space for us, instead of asking and begging for, positions on platforms and begging for our videos to be shown on MTV and begging for us to be on the radio and blah blah blah. No, when we support each other, because there are more of us than we think. When we support each other, the impact speaks for itself. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you for all of our fans. Thank you for our listeners. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to us every week. Make sure that you guys also subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure that you're sending us comments. Like, that's how we keep going. Like, and donate too. Darren, don't you have a link where people can donate to the show so we can continue elevating our brand, elevating our technology?
Period. The Linktree link is in the description, and you can, send a donation of any amount. Would do us very much a favor, because we definitely need more stuff. I know I need some equipment. I need me to give me a little camera set up. I need me, But nevertheless, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking your time out to really listen to our show. And I see the impressions. I see our analytics weekly, and I know that people are listening. And thank you. Like that, I always wanted to do this, and I hopefully you'll want. Well,
and you're doing it.
It will get to a point where it's just like it's paying for everything, my bills, being able to live, and everything else.
It will get there. You're doing everything that you need to do to make sure that it gets there. So I have no doubt that it will.
All right. And on that note, that is the end of this episode. We kind of got a little, we
did what we need to do.
Until next time, I am your host, Darren Green.
I'm Prince Derek Dahl.
And this is the Darren Green Show, signing out.